Yo, listen to me real close. You've been grinding, you've been hustling, you've been putting in that work, and guess what? You're still not seeing the results you want. I get it. It's frustrating. It's exhausting. It feels like you're screaming into the wind. But I'm here to tell you one thing. People love talking about talent. Oh, he's so gifted. She was born to do that. He just has it in. Let me tell you something, and I need you to hear this like your life depends on it. Talent is cute until it meets consistency. You can be the most talented person in the room, but if you don't show up every single day, you're going to lose to someone with less talent and more discipline every single time. I've seen it happen. I've lived it. There's always someone who walks in with the natural ability. They light up the room for 5 minutes. Everybody's like, wow, that's amazing. Well, here's the thing. They vanish just as quick because talent might get you in the door, but it's consistency that keeps you in the building. You don't need to be the most talented. You just need to show up day after day, rep after rep, hour after hour. Put in the work when it's not fun, when it's not flashy, when nobody's recording. While they're out flexing on social media, you're in the dark, stacking wins that the world can't see yet. Let them sleep, let them doubt, let them talk. While they watching Netflix, you're building. While they partying, you're planning. While they resting, you're rising. Because you made a decision that you're not going to lean on potential anymore. You're going to lean on effort, on grit, on consistency. That person with all the talent, they might take shortcuts. They might think they can coast, but not you. You know the power of habits. You know the power of showing up when you don't feel like it. You understand something they don't. You don't rise to the level of your potential. You rise to the level of your standards. And your standard is showing up every single day. You're the one in the gym before the sun comes up. You're the one reading, learning, growing while others are snoozing. You're the one who decided, I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to outlast this. See, consistency is quiet. It's not loud like talent. It doesn't need a crowd. It doesn't ask for applause. It doesn't wait for permission. It just shows up. And then it shows up again and again and again and again. And while the world's distracted by sparkle and shine, you're putting in real time, day in, day out. No days off, not because someone's watching, but because you made a promise to yourself and you keep your word. And you might not have the accolades. You might not have the followers. You might not be the one everybody's betting on, but you keep showing up. You keep pushing. You keep digging. You keep doing what others won't until you can do what others can't. Because eventually, consistency stacks, it builds, it compounds. What looked like a grind today becomes a groove tomorrow. What felt impossible last year becomes light work this year. And the people who once had more talent, they don't even show up anymore. But you're still here, still rising, still growing, still swinging, because talent fades, energy fades, luck runs out. But consistency, everybody's scared to fall. Everybody's scared to fail. But let me ask you something. Why? What made you believe that falling is failure? Who told you that making a mistake means you're not built for this? You've been lied to. See, the problem isn't that people fall. The problem is that when they fall back into fear, into shame, into doubt, into quitting. But if you're going to fall, and trust me, you will fall forward. Fall into the lesson. Fall into the growth. Fall into the next version of yourself. Because when you fall forward, you still make progress. You got to stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Stop waiting for the fear to disappear. Stop waiting until you feel 100% ready. You'll be waiting forever. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be brave. You need to be willing to take the shot, knowing you might miss, knowing you might stumble, knowing the ground might hit hard, but you take the shot anyway. You go for it anyway. You jump anyway, because you know that failure isn't the end. It's part of the process. Look at anybody who's done anything great, anybody, and I guarantee you they've got a whole highlight reel of losses, of falls, of rejections, of times they almost gave up. But what separates them is this. They fell forward. They used the failure as fuel. They turned the L into leverage. They didn't fold. They didn't retreat. They didn't make failure their identity. That's where the shift happens. It's not about never falling. That's not the goal. The goal is to keep getting up and falling better, falling smarter, falling stronger. And with every fall, you pick up something. You pick up experience, you pick up toughness. You pick up a piece of the map that shows you how to move better next time. But if you fall and stop, you don't grow. You don't learn. You don't evolve. You just sit in the pain. You marinate in the mistake. You start believing the voice in your head that says, this must not be for me. That voice is lying. That voice is scared. That voice doesn't know the beast you got inside. You think the pain means stop, but the pain is the price of elevation. You think the fall means failure, but the fall is the first step to rising. And let me tell you this, it's the ones who fall the most who learn the most. It's the ones who struggle early that come back strong because they had to fight for every inch. They had to build the muscle. They had to earn it. So every time you hit the ground, ask yourself, what did I just learn? How can I use this? Where do I go from here? Because if you're asking those questions, you're not just falling, you're growing. You're not just failing, you're figuring it out. And while everybody else is afraid to look foolish, you're out here moving. You're out here evolving. You're out here collecting scars. And every scar tells a story of a warrior who got back up. So go ahead, take the risk, make the move, say the dream out loud, step into the unknown. And if you fall, fall forward. And if you fall again, fall harder, but further. Because every time you fall, everybody's chasing motivation. Everybody wants to feel fired up. Yo, I need a new podcast. I need a new song. I need a new quote to get me hyped. Nah, what you need is discipline. Because motivation is a mood. It's a moment. It's a spark that burns quick. But discipline is the fire that never goes out. Discipline is what shows up when motivation doesn't. See, it's easy to grind when you're hyped up. It's easy to push when you're in the mood. But what happens when the music stops? What happens when nobody's cheering? What happens when your body's sore, your mind is tired, and your heart is questioning if it's worth it? That's where discipline lives. Discipline don't care about how you feel. Discipline don't need an audience. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like doing it. That's the difference maker. That's the separator. That's the reason some people keep climbing while others stay stuck in the same place, watching, wishing, wondering. You want to be elite? You want to separate yourself? Then stop depending on motivation like it's your lifeline. Motivation is a visitor. Discipline is a resident. You don't invite discipline in, it moves in permanently. Winners don't wait for motivation to strike. They build routines. They build habits. They wake up and do the work because that's what they said they would do. Not because they feel like it, but because it's who they are. That's the difference. That's the level. You think Navy SEALs are out there motivated every morning to do push-ups in the rain? You think athletes are hyped for every single 5 a.m. lift session? No, they're disciplined. They train their minds to do what's required, regardless of their emotions. Let me be real with you. Your goals don't care how you feel. Your dream doesn't adjust based on your mood. The work still has to get done. The sacrifice still has to be made. The hours still have to be logged. So how do you build discipline? You decide, you make a decision that says, I'm done negotiating with myself. You stop giving yourself options. You stop saying maybe. You stop saying if I'm in the mood, and you replace that with it gets done. Period. You put your shoes on and get to the gym. You open the book and study. You show up to the job. You write the plan. You make the call. You invest the time. You do it again and again and again until it becomes part of you, until the reps write the rhythm into your DNA. You don't wait for a feeling to push you. You use your why to pull you. You use your vision to fuel you. You use the version of yourself you're building to guide every move. You stop chasing hype and start creating habits. Because when the lights go out and life hits hard, it won't be motivation that saves you. It'll be the discipline you built when nobody was watching. It'll be the small decisions, the early mornings, the late nights, the times you said no when it would have been easy to say yes. The days you didn't feel like it and you showed up anyway. You build discipline like a wall, one brick at a time. Not just when it's sunny, not just when it's easy, but when it's stormy, when it's quiet, when it's uncomfortable. And every time you keep that promise to yourself, you feel it, don't you? That burn, that pressure, that resistance, that pain sitting in your chest, your legs, your mind, like it's trying to break you, like it's trying to convince you to stop. But listen to me, pain is temporary. Say it again louder, make it real. Pain is temporary, but the growth, that's forever. See, pain comes with the process. It's part of the price. It's not the enemy, it's the entrance fee. You want strength, you want mastery, you want greatness, then you better get comfortable with pain because there's no elevation without it. You think you're going to get to the top without struggle? You think you're going to level up without sacrifice? You want the crown, but you don't want the cuts from carrying it. Pain is not punishment, it's preparation. Pain is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the walkers, the ones who say they want it from the ones who live like they need it. And the reason most people don't grow, it's not because they aren't capable. It's because the minute it hurts, the minute it stretches them, the minute it demands more, they tap out. They run back to comfort. They run back to easy. But nothing grows there. Nothing evolves in comfort. You got to go through it. You got to embrace it, because pain isn't here to destroy you. It's here to develop you. Every sore muscle, every heartbreak, every failure, every lonely night, it's chiseling you, shaping you, refining you into the version of yourself you keep saying you want to be. That pressure you feel right now, that frustration, that exhaustion, that's not the end. That's the beginning of breakthrough, because real growth doesn't come when everything's going your way. It comes when your back's against the wall and you choose to swing anyway. It comes when you're tired and drained and doubting yourself, but you show up anyway. It comes when the pain hits, and instead of quitting, you lean in. You say, let's go. And yeah, it's uncomfortable. Yeah, it's brutal. But so is being stuck. So is regret. So is waking up years from now knowing you let pain stop you when you could have used it to fuel you. Let me make it plain. Pain is part of the process, but it's not permanent. It doesn't last. It's a chapter, not the story. It's a moment, not your identity. What does last is who you become because of it. What lasts is the mindset, the discipline, the strength, the wisdom. What lasts is the version of you that pain helped create. Every rep you push through when it hurts, growth. Every tear you wipe away and keep moving, growth. Every know you hear but still believe in your vision, growth. You are stacking growth inside pain. You are collecting resilience. You are becoming unbreakable. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. And listen, it doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter how slow the progress feels. As long as you keep going, the pain will pass. But the strength you build because of it, that becomes part of you. You carry that forever. You walk with it. You fight with it. You teach others with it. You lead with it, because pain was never here to stop you. It was only here to. Everybody wants the outcome. Everybody wants the success. Everybody wants the result, the trophy, the lifestyle, the respect, but nobody wants the process. And here's the truth. The result doesn't build you. The win doesn't shape you. The title, the praise, the applause, that's the byproduct. That's the surface level stuff. You know what really builds you? The process, the early mornings, the late nights, the days when everything in you is screaming, quit. The days you're alone, the days no one believes in the vision but you. That's where the real work happens. That's where you are forged. See, the process, who cares who you used to be? The process doesn't care about your comfort zone. The process is designed to expose the weaknesses and pull out the strength. And the reason people don't finish, they get addicted to the idea of the finish line without learning to love the road that leads to it. But if you're serious, if you're built different, you're not just in it for the outcome. You're in it to become something. You're in it to transform. You're in it to build a version of yourself that can handle the weight of the dream you're chasing. You don't just want the money. You want the discipline that comes with earning it. You don't just want the body. You want the character that was built through every rep, every drop of sweat. You don't just want the platform. You want the clarity, the purpose, the resilience that got you there. Because listen, the process will humble you. It will break you down before it builds you up. It will show you who you are. It will test your intentions, your heart, your discipline, your patience. But if you keep going, if you surrender to the process instead of resisting it, you won't just get the goal, you'll become someone who deserves it. The process teaches you things success never will. It teaches you how to suffer well, how to wait with grace, how to bounce back after failure, how to stay locked in when nobody's watching. It teaches you to do it for the love, to do it with integrity, to do it with consistency. You can't skip it. You can't cheat it. You can't rush it. The process is like the gym for your soul. It's going to break down the ego and build up the spirit. It's going to stretch your capacity. It's going to reveal your purpose. It's going to introduce you to the version of yourself you ain't met yet. And guess what? That version, that beast inside you, that leader, that creator, they don't show up on day one. They don't come alive when it's easy. They rise up in the middle of the grind when most people tap out. They rise when you decide, I'm not backing down. I'm built for this, because you're not here for a shortcut. You're not here for a shortcut. You're not here for applause. You're here to become. You're here to transform. And transformation only comes through pressure, through repetition, through discomfort. That's why the process isn't punishment. It's a gift. It's the training ground for greatness. So when it's hard, don't run. When it hurts, don't hide. When it's slow, don't rush it. Because every second inside the process is shaping something in you that success alone never could. Everybody wants momentum. Everybody wants to be in flow, riding high, unstoppable. But here's what they don't get. Momentum is not magic. It's not some mystical force that just shows up and sticks with you. Momentum is earned, is built in the dark. It's built in silence. It's built when nobody's clapping, when nobody's texting, when the likes ain't hidden. Momentum shows up for the consistent, not the convenient. You don't get momentum from wishing. You get it from working. Every single day. See, the problem with most people, they want momentum like it's a gift. They want the wave, but they don't want to paddle. They're waiting for that perfect day, that burst of energy, that motivation to strike before they move. But the truth is, you don't wait for momentum. You create it. You show up tired, you show up unmotivated, you show up when life is hitting you sideways. Because every time you take one more step, one more rep, one more hour, you stacking momentum. You're telling your future, I'm coming, I'm not stopping, I'm building pressure that's about to explode. But here's the catch. Momentum don't come from one big move. It's built into micro decisions, the small yeses, the 5 a.m. alarm you didn't snooze, the workout you finished, the book you read, the time you chose discipline over comfort. That's what makes the ball roll. That's what turns effort into energy. That's how the shift happens. From trying to thriving, from crawling to flying. You put in enough work, enough reps, and one day you feel it. That moment where the resistance starts to break. That moment where the grind turns into glide. But that's earned. That's bought with every ounce of effort you gave when it didn't feel like it was working. And listen to me, it doesn't come fast. Momentum's like a freight train. It's heavy, it's slow, it's stubborn, but once it's moving, once you get that rhythm, now you're dangerous. Now you're out here doing things people said you couldn't. Now you're in that zone where your habits are automatic, your focus is laser, and quitting's not even in your vocabulary. But here's where people mess up. They get a little movement, a little win, a little progress, and they let off the gas. They coast. They get comfortable. And what happens? Momentum dies, because just like you earned it, you can lose it. You stop showing up, the engine slows. You skip the work, the energy dips. And now you're back to square one trying to push the same rock you already had rolling. So what's the key? You protect momentum like it's your lifeline. You don't celebrate too early. You don't take your foot off the pedal. You double down. You stay consistent, because when you've got momentum on your side, it multiplies everything. Effort becomes easier. Vision becomes clearer. Doors start opening. People start noticing. Opportunities start flowing. Not because you're lucky, but because you earned the right to move like this. Momentum is a reward for the relentless. It's a gift for those who grind when it's not sexy. And the best part, once you got it, once that machine is humming, you become unshakable. You walk different. You talk different. You execute different. You don't chase the feeling. You are the force now. And every day you keep showing up, every step you take without seeing the results right away,